Please welcome on the stage our speakers Nazlıcan Yılmaz, Özdemir Küçükali, Kinsey Dardanus, and our moderator Oğuz Silahtar.
Hello, everyone. So now we have a panel called UA Perspectives in 2023. And we have great panelists. I'll let them introduce themselves and what their company does.
Yep.
Kinsey,
Yeah,
let's start with you.
I will probably start. I don't know if everyone can hear me, I guess. So hi, guys. I'm Kinsey. I'm Chief Product Officer at TapNation. So I'm working on the product side mainly, not on the UA side, but here I am. So actually at TapNation, so quickly for the quick recall, we are a mobile game publisher. We are existing since like 2019. And right now we have like more or less like 50, 60 people in the company working all around the world. And we are scaling more than like right now 25 games. We reach more than 750 million downloads worldwide right now, which is a good milestone that we reached recently. And the idea is, of course, to publish more games into various areas, so hyper-casual, casual, hybrids, board and card game. Continuing doing this, what we are doing good, also getting on acquisition side, and mainly also improving the live game that we have right now through UA and monetization, basically. So yeah, that's for a quick presentation of TapNation.
And?
Hello, everyone. My name is Nazlıcan, and I've been working at ShyftUp for a year now. And I'm a user acquisition specialist, and ShyftUp is a user acquisition agency based in San Francisco, specializing in mobile app growth. And we offer two primary services. These are paid user acquisition and App Store optimization, ASO. And on the paid side, we craft social advertising campaigns on platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Apple Search Ads, and Google UAC. And we help you develop a strategy, optimize your spending, and manage your budget, and for in-app monetized events such as sign-ups and subscriptions. We execute customized advertising campaigns for incremental user growth and revenue boost toward your business goals. And on the organic side, through App Store optimization, through ASO, we drive organic installs. We hold a KPI-driven approach. And we increase your app visibility in app stores through keyword research, metadata optimization, store page A/B testings, and reviews and ratings improvement. And thanks to our reporting dashboard called Metrical, we also track significant user acquisition KPIs and to visualize how much growth our customers drive with tangible results. And it's really worth mentioning here, so we don't ask for a minimum requirement except for a month, yet our average customer engagement is 2 to 3 years. Among them, we have very reputable customers like Evernote, Square, Visco, Thumbtack, Fodamat, and so on. And we believe that any action we take actually have a ROI positive impact to get you one step closer to your goals.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Özdemir Küçükali, and I'm working as a marketing manager at Vertigo Games. Vertigo Games is a mobile gaming company that developing FPS and shooter games. Our main title is Critical Strike, which is reach over the 80 million downloads all over the world. And we're still focusing to develop new FPS and shooter games.
Okay, and I should also introduce myself. So I'm co-founder of Talentum, and now we are called UAhero. We used to do AI consulting in different areas, mostly in gaming. We did bots for some games. We did LTV prediction, churn prediction. And now we have an automated UA platform, SaaS product, that for managing marketing campaigns, UA campaigns. Now let's start with getting opinions about 2023. What's your focus going to be this year? Is it any different than past years? Who would like to start?
Maybe I can start.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And we believe that everything will keep changing in 2023, and it will be even more accelerated. And maybe we can focus and discuss about some following topics like increased unit costs, such as marketing and data privacy and data regulations. And in terms of increased unit cost, we can say that most of the marketers have already started to facing with these challenges, and mobile gaming companies just stuck into small profit shares. And so that we believe that we need to focus much more in the monetization side. And we believe that in the 2023, hybrid monetization model and subscription models will be much more common. For example, the hyper-casual titles just started to turn into hybrid casual, or only IAP modeled titles just started to add revenues to their titles, and which is super legacy mobile gaming studio is Supercell, just already started to shift their revenue models to the subscription models. And I believe that user level personalization will be so critical in the following years to increase our LTVs. And in terms of the data privacy, SKA Network 4.0 will be change everything in our way, and our optimization methods will be updated just because new measurement methodologies will be unlocked, and we will have 3 prospects instead of 1. We will have 2 kind of prospect values instead of 1, and we will have much more campaign tracking capability, and we will be enabled to track ad placements or creative types in that, and so that so many things will change in our lives. And I also think, it's my personal opinion, but quick decision making and the leveraging on the third-party services will be much more important in the following days, because in the adoption about the changings, especially for the privacy changings, can seem like risky for the mobile gaming companies, and they want to prefer staying to the other companies' adoption. But these changes will keep in the following years, and so that we need to be early adopter, and we need to get used to be like that, and so that we should pick the right partner for us, and we need to be more courage for these changes.
Yeah, if I can pursue on that, on what you said, I totally agree that the big change itself will be on what we will bring to show that we are flexible as actors of gaming. That's also a good trait, I think, for the gaming, mobile gaming industry in general, is that we usually are quite flexible, and most of companies that are successful today is the company that can be able to adapt to any type of change. We saw that what happened with the new change with, the iOS 14, the ATT, all those changes that has been like brought since 1-2 years. It changed drastically the way that advertisers are actually working, because we don't have like the same, for example, revenue from ads that we have before. And you said something which is very true, that right now most actors on gaming, they want to get into something a bit more hybrid. I speak, for example, for like TapNation side, we are mainly focusing on hyper-casual games, while we are shifting to new ways of monetizing those games and get users that will be, more engaged to our game with different type of like UA strategy and monetization strategy. So this is something that we really have to aim. When it comes to on our case, we will put on top of what you added a big focus also on the creative automation, actually, because we know that at the end of the day, what we want to achieve is get that LTV CPI, ratio, having to decrease your CPI as much as you can on the creative side, and optimizing the LTV of your game as much as you can on the monetization side. So that's why actually we're gonna put a big focus on the creative refresh, on like doing some tools internally, but also with third-party partners that are able to make us try like 10 creative, 10 new concepts of creative, not 10 creative, but 10 new concepts per week on each different game. But this shouldn't be possible without automation. So this is something that we are doing more and more right now to try to tackle up a lot and decrease the CPI, which is key to succeed, especially nowadays.
Nice.
And in addition to what has been said, you know, some of the biggest names in technology have announced these cost-cutting measures and sweeping job cuts, among them Amazon, Meta, and Twitter. And these cost pressures have also led companies to make some major budget cuts in the marketing field as well. So marketing has also become one of the areas subject to those cost pressures, those restrictions. And as the advertising budgets will be reduced, ASO, App Store optimization, once again will be more and more important. So it strengthens ASO center even more compared to paid user acquisition. And but apart from that, on the other hand, ASA, Apple Search Ads, is still a very important channel for us. And also, we will try to utilize new ASA ad placements as much as possible for our customers in 2023. And also, you know, the artificial intelligence in app development and app marketing is also on the rise. And creating, especially on the you know, user experience, it creates lots of benefits and advantages. And also creating new contents and generating new ideas, especially on the text fields like new title, subtitle, short and long description. We can definitely use and benefit from these AI tools like ChatGPT. And but the system is still testable, and but they will definitely make our jobs easier in the future.
Yes. Okay. So, Kinsey, I'll ask a question directly to you.
Yeah.
So, when you said that automation is important.
Yeah.
Automation and not automation in like general, what kind of tools do you use or services do you use for UA?
So for what is your question?
What kind of tools and services do you use?
So actually, we are when it comes to the automation side, we are building an internal tool with the help of third-party costs, because the idea is really to try to get, as we said, like as much as automation as possible. Especially, for example, I was talking about creatives, but I can talk about UA right now. For example, to give a concrete example is right now we are actually testing more than 20 network on each game, on more than 60 different geos in average that are working. And of course, if you want to do that manually, it's going to take you a long time to optimize every source, every channel, and everything. So that's why actually we are going full mode, to be honest, on that. Because, for example, some games that are generating maybe a bit lower margin, and you don't want to put someone like dedicated fully on like one game that is generating this much margin, you're going to say, okay, this is going to have like automated UA. Of course, you're going to still come and check every week to see how it is going on this geo, which is performing more or less. But you want to have that level of flexibility as well that allows you like new tools as well. But yeah, we are doing actually a big thing in-house with our data analysts and our tech-oriented guy so that we can be able to do that actually. So mainly...
How many active games do you have?
Sorry?
About how many active games?
Right now we have 25 games that are active. So all of them are active. Actually, we don't let... like no of the games are in a state that we are not touching them. We are still doing creative refresh. We are still working on different networks. Of course, we see that right now, one also of the challenge that we face is that the old ways was more like you put some creatives on some networks that we know are working, but right now there is more difference. We know that some games will work on social media networks, some games will work on SDK networks, so we try to balance and see as well with the creative and UA team what focus we're going to put on each specific game, actually.
Oh, nice. Özdemir, do you want to talk about your UA strategy? How do you plan it for 2023? I think your game is, your monetization is hybrid, so it might be a little different than...
It's really affecting our UA strategy, and so that we can explain our UA strategy in line with our hybrid monetization model. And while we are building up our UA strategy, we are considering our revenue split. I mean, IAP and ad revenue split. And so while we are doing that, we are deep diving in it, and we are focusing the campaign level, or you can focusing the ad group level also. And so that every campaign have their own split and their own ROAS or retention curve, so that it need to have their own KPIs, so that we can assume each campaign as each titles, because they have their own curves, their own retention, own metrics. So we need to micro these optimization layers. And in terms of campaigns, if you have a constant break-even target, for example, you have a 6 months, you need to set up individual KPIs for each campaign to keep your profitability accurate. And so, for example, in the lower funnel campaigns, if your quality of players just really differs by the selected events for the optimization. For example, if you are using the ad revenue proxy events or IAP proxy events, your curves or the engagement metrics will definitely change. So that we need to focus these micro levels, and we need to understand our audiences with the questions like, who are our IAP users, or who are our ad revenue users, and who are our IAP whales and their patterns. In that way, we will try to detect their sweet spots or the relative points to get much more of that. So we can summarize our objectives in line with our monetization model, like KPI determination, and event selection for campaigns, and the targeting. In terms of event selection, I already mentioned that, and the quality of the players really differs by the events that we are optimizing for in our campaigns, and their curves are really different. So we are calculating their performance and predicting their future values in individual calculations. So, and if we want to talk about our targeting in line with our monetization model, it really differs. So we can say that, for example, purchaser rates, purchase frequency, ROAS curves, retention curves, CPIs, these kinds of metrics all depends by the geos also. And so if you want to create a campaigns like IAP ROAS campaigns such as, we are picking the right geos for these campaigns which has similar splits with our objective. We already tested lots of that, and we found the sweet spot like that, and we are grouping the geos in these lines. So, and the other thing I should mention is we are creating some custom segments for our revenue maximization. With mostly we are using the remote config, and we are creating some segments like, for example, Tier 3 non-purchasers, and we are adding some new ad placements, or we are increasing frequencies, and we want to maximize our revenues for each geo. And yeah, maybe I can summarize our UA strategy like that, in line with our monetization model.
Nice. So we heard strategies from publisher and the game studio. And Nazlıcan, how does ShyftUp work alongside these internal teams and strategies?
So our customers work with us in several different ways. Either they have a user acquisition team and they need some external support in the area of ASO that requires specific expertise. And we help them with that. For example, one company we work with, DoorDash, have a solid UA team, and they just need this specific expertise in the ASO, and we help them with that. We provide them with support. Or some companies may not have a UA team. We offer full service there. For example, we work with Niva, and Niva doesn't even have a marketing team, and we help them with that. So our approach is very flexible and custom at this point.
Okay, nice. So that's all we had for questions today. Are there any other questions from the audience? Would you like to add something?
Yeah, maybe I can add something. For the predictions for the 2023, I also think that some of the mobile gaming companies will shift their development effort from their own genre to new genres, like have much more organic virality. And yeah, I already started to see the examples like that, but it doesn't need to shift your or change your genre, but it can be happen with the new features or yeah, maybe new special events more. You can add some PvP features, but the crucial thing is we need to organic users again.
Yeah. Actually, I want to add on that because it's true that it's something that most publishers were not. They were not putting too much effort on that, like 2 years ago. At 2-3 years ago, at the I would say like golden age of like scaling a game super easily with a bit of low budget on acquisition. While right now, I feel like people are getting way more flexible and considering more options on how to scale a game. Okay, classic user acquisition, that's something that publisher will still and studio will still do. But there is also all the organic part that people are not letting down. So getting a lot of work on ASO side, like on icon testing, like many things that would make the game get users for free. You won't have to pay for it at all. And also things that would be like, for example, with getting users through, for example, like cross-promotion and things like this, and relying heavily on things that are not as costly as UA. And it's true that it's something that we see more and more. There are many actually studio and publishers that are quite good on that side, and I think they are actually getting to be more and more like profitable, because at the end of the day, those are users that you are not paying for or paying super cheap. So yeah, I think it's a really good point that you come up with actually.
Yeah, and there's another update. I was in the Google's event 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they mentioned that an Android privacy sandbox won't be forced in the 2023, and we need to get used to what we're gonna do, but it won't be forced in the following year.
Exactly. And it goes as well for the same ways on the different geos. Like before, for example, when we just started TapNation, it was in the time where you had, the big publishers, the Voodoo and things. Like everyone was mainly about US markets. Now, it's true, the US market is still profitable, but people are getting more and more into like smaller geos that have, for example, tier 2, tier 3 countries with like a lot of volume, and they are able to, balance their organic and also their acquired users on that geos and maximize their margin that way, because they know that user acquisition is costly on tier 1 country, and they try to have new strategy of scaling more with lesser costs. And I think this also new strategy will be something that we will see more and more, even on big publishers actually. This is something that we will see quite a lot. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. So thanks to our panelists.
Thanks to
And
you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
to you.
you. And let's
Okay.
That's
yeah,
all.
let's leave the stage to the next talk.
Yep. You can cheer up, guys.
Thank you.